Welcome to this webinar. I hope you're all doing well. Yes, I'll be your lead instructor and trainer for Zoho Books. We've been having a series of training, but for today we are going back to the drawing board for our new participants so that you get to have a glimpse of what we have been going through. So this is Zoho Books. It's strictly online. It's everything accounting. So Zoho Books helps you like to manage your finances. It helps you to keep track of your financial records, and it eliminates manual error. Since everything is system generated, you don't have like to manually calculate your invoice amount, your payables, your receivables. Once you start transacting in the system automatically get reports for you. So Zoho Books has like different packages. It has a free one. It has a free plan, but the free plan, it's a bit limited. It works on a rule whereby if you issue 1,000 invoices, like if you hit 1,000 invoices in the system will, that specific plan, the free plan will automatically block you. That's with a free plan. We have the standard plan, we have the professional, we have the premium, we have the elite and the ultimate. So at the end of the video, at the end of the training, I'll be able like to share the features, what entails in those different features, and also the pricing comparison. So at the end of the day, you have like a pricing visibility and all the features and the plans. So what you're seeing on your end is the dashboard. So today it's going to be like an overview, like explaining in a summary, and also trying to let you see the different modules that you will be using for your day-to-day transacting. And before I go forth, Zoho Books is it has an app. Let's say you're on a go, you want to transact, but you don't have like a laptop. You just go to your phone, go to Play Store, type Zoho Books accounting software. You follow the prompts. The same email that you use like while setting up your Zoho Books on your laptop is the same email. So since it's a cloud-based software, it will definitely spool all that information, and then definitely you'll receive all that information on your phone. So you'll be able like to issue your invoices, your quotation, and everything. Yeah, and we also have other suits. Let's say your business has grown. Now, let's say you have like stock, bulk stock. We have a suite called Zoho Inventory. We can actually go ahead and integrate Zoho Inventory to Zoho Books. What I'm trying to say here is you can actually go ahead and integrate Zoho Books to other apps. We have eFreeze. You can actually go ahead and integrate Zoho Books with eFreeze. We can integrate Zoho Books with other Zoho tools like Zoho Inventory, like Zoho Project, Zoho CRM. We have over 45 tools that can help you like in your day-to-day business. So what does this software does? Let's say your business has grown, you've identified a need. So you can actually go ahead and integrate so that you have like a seamless, you can be able like to transact under the same umbrella at a go. So going forward, what you see on your dashboard, what you're seeing on your screen is like the dashboard. When you log into the system, this is what you see. Yes. Yeah. So the dashboard shows you like a summary of what you transacted in the system. So here we see, I hope you're following my cursor. So here you see we have the total receivables versus the total payables. So the total receivables is like the total amount of money that you're supposed to collect from your customers. So once you attach invoices in the system will spool all the unpaid invoices. So here you see total unpaid invoices equals to 185 400,000. So it will give you like that visibility that this is the amount of money that you are supposed to collect from your customers. So for the total payables, it means the amount of money that you are supposed to receive from your suppliers. Let's say you're this type of a business that collects goods on credit from your suppliers. So once you start attaching like a bill in Zoho Books, it's called a bill. So remember the purchase process, your supplier, depending on the protocol, your supplier can give you like, let's say, a purchase order from his end, or you can give your supplier a purchase order from your end. So once your supplier has confirmed that I have those goods that you have requested for, so how you respond to that particular movement is to issue a bill in Zoho Books, which you will see. So you'll be able like to know the total unpaid bill. So the reason that's why we have 00 is because we haven't like received, we haven't like attached, we haven't like gotten any goods on credit from our suppliers. So let me create a scenario. Let's say you have a total unpaid bill of, let's say, 1 million. I mean, no, not 1 million. Let's have like let's say you have like 100,000 here, UGX. But then on your unpaid bills, you have 100. Here we have 185. So it gives you like that financial comparison that actually, for me to be able to pay these outstanding payables, I need to liquidate these receivables. I need to collect money from my customers. That brings about having like an informed financial view, you get. So at the end of the day, it will make you like improve, let's say, on your debt collection strategies, so as like to be able like to offset the payables that you have at that particular period of time. We also have this particular summary, which is like the cash flow. So do not worry about these figures, because we had like done so many tests in the system for study purposes. Let's just follow through. So the cash flow gives you like a summary of what you have brought in the business versus what you have taken out. What you have brought in means like those invoices that you have issued, like the income and everything, versus what you have taken out in terms of expenses. So when you click month per month, it will show like opening balance, you have this particular amount of money, and then outgoing, and then the ending balance. So you click like month per month, it is adjusted, like it is clickable, and you will be able like to see how you're performing cash flow wise, but on a monthly basis. So let's say these things are non-static. You can actually go ahead and filter this report. Let's say you want to see like a cash flow statement for the previous fiscal year or for the last 12 months. You can actually go ahead and filter that. You get. So when I scroll down, I have another summary which shows the income versus expenses. So let's say now you have transacted in the system, you have realized some cash. So what the system does for you, it will spool all the revenue that you have received versus the expenses. So it will give you like how you are doing income wise versus expense. But then you can actually go ahead and filter these reports. Let's say you want an accrual report. Accrual means that, let's say, it runs like on an invoice basis. When you issue an invoice in the system, that's already like a sale. But an invoice is already like let's say it's already if you haven't like attached, let me explain it in this way. If you haven't like, when you record an invoice in the system recognizes it as an income, regardless whether you have attached payment or not. So that's accrual. But let's say you have attached payment against that specific invoice. So that means it's a cash basis report. So accrual, it means the system will spool all the invoice amount regardless of whether you have recorded payment against the invoice or not. But cash report basis, it means the system will take only the amount of money that you have recorded. Let's say of all the invoice, let's say you have issued an invoice that amounts to 1 million, but you have attached only 500,000. So the system will only take the 500,000 because it is the real-time cash that you have received. You get? But for accrual, it will take the 1 million. Yeah, but this report going forth, it is, you can filter it. Let's say you want to get like a visibility, or for, let's say, for the previous fiscal year, for the last 12 months, or for the last 6 months, the system will give you that report. Now we have this other summary, the expenses. So you will have like, it's usually represented in a pie chart. Yeah, so let's say you have attached like an expense in the system. So you'll be able like to know that specific expense that is taking the most money from your business. So you will know whether it's the utilities, you'll know whether it's the transport, you'll know whether it's the staff salaries and wages, professional fees, consultation. Yeah, so still this report is, you can actually go ahead and filter this report. Let's say you want to know what is that specific expense that took the most money in my business for this quarter, for the previous fiscal year, for the previous quarter, or that for the previous month. So you'll be able like to know that whole movement concerning the expenses. Now we have this feature in Zoho Books. It's called the projects. So the projects feature in Zoho Books, because all these things, you have to first attach transactions. You have to first trigger something. The reason that's why you are seeing it blank, just like the way we saw for the expenses, is because we haven't attached anything concerning the projects. But then we have this module in Zoho Books called time tracking. I hope you're following my cursor. So what it does, it helps you like to attach projects in the system. So from there, you'll be able like to see whether that particular project is profitable or not. What do I mean? When you configure a project in Zoho Books, it goes ahead and allows you like to attach a budget against that project. Let's say you forecast an income of, let's say, 5 million, but then on actuals, you get something like 2 million. Let's say that's for the income. Let's for the expenses, you have forecasted to expense, let's say, 8 million. But then on actuals, you expense 10 million. That means actually there is like an over budget or under budget somewhere. So once the system keeps track of that whole movement, budget versus actuals, you'll be able like to have that visibility that actually, basing on this particular project, it is not profitable. Basing on the movements, I have forecasted 8 million on income, but I've on ground, on actuals, I've received 2 million. You get? But on expenses, I've forecasted 8 million, but I've shoot to 10. That means that project is not profitable. That means you have to go back and review your strategies and everything. You get? So we have this other summary, which is bank and credit cards. So we have this feature in Zoho Books that the module is called bank and credit cards. It allows you like to attach those accounts that we use for our daily running of a business. Let's say you have the Stanbic Bank, let's say you have Equity, let's say you have like those different cash accounts, cash in safe, the petty cash, the undeposited funds, the real cash accounts. So the system allows you like to attach those accounts in the system. So at the end of the day, you will see like the running balances. Here we have negatives. Do not worry about this. It's because we have like so much transactions that we had attached in the process of training. So you'll be able like to see the running balance as per all those accounts. But then you're going to ask me this question. Isn't this information like confidential? Like, let's say now we have. Hello, so sorry about that. Can you all hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, we can hear you.
All right, perfect. Going back to my explanation concerning the bank and credit cards. So you'll be able like to have a visibility of your running balances, but then you can ask me, isn't this information like confidential? Like, can like let's say you seeing your closing balance as per this account, isn't it confidential? Yes, it's confidential, but there is a feature in Zoho Books. It's called like it's a module, it's users and roles. So Zoho Books allows you like to invite other people to access like your account. But then you can go ahead and grant and limit access. So you can actually go limit this visibility for that particular person that you want to invite to the system. And then for you, the admin, you can actually have this visibility for your own confidentiality. So the other person won't be able like to see all these running balances. Yeah. So that's it for our dashboard. So going back to my explanation, these transactions, Zoho Books is a cloud-based, so you don't have like to worry about like loss of data and everything. So the system automatically backs up your data. So that's it like for the dashboard explanation. And it goes with everything to do with systems. It goes with this saying GIGO, like garbage in, garbage out. So if you transact badly, if you transact inaccurately, definitely you will receive inaccurate reports. So that is the reason as to why we are here as Analytics Business Center, to provide like support, to provide like training so that you'll be able like to enjoy the system. So going forth, on my left, we have different modules that you will use for your daily transacting. So here we have the items. The items module in Zoho Books allows you like to attach those items of selling out to your clients. Yes. So we have the inventory. So let's say you have stock in your business. So this inventory part in Zoho Books allows you like to keep track of your stock. So at the end of the day, you have like a visibility of how your stock is moving. We also have this sales part. So this sales part is a module, but it has like other sub modules. So under the sales module, we have other sub modules. Let us start with the customers. So here the system allows you like to add customers in the system. So you have like a database. I mean, you have like a list of your customers, and this will help you like in the process of attaching a quotation, an invoice, and also issuing a receipt in the system. Yeah, that's it for the customers. But going back like to my other part of, I had talked about like integrating like Zoho Books with other Zoho tools. So we have a tool called CRM, the customer management relationship. So this handles like all your customers and pipelines and everything, like the movement of your customers, lead management pipeline, like closing those deals. So once you connect your Zoho CRM to Zoho Books, you won't be able like to add those customers like manually. The system will just automatically fetch all those customers that you have attached in your CRM, and then they will be able like to reflect in Zoho Books. Yeah, so that is like the power of automation. So we have this other, excuse me. So we have this other module, it's called the quotation. So quotes. So when a customer comes to you and then they have expressed interest in your products, these items that we saw here. So when they have expressed interest in your items, in your products, in your services, something like that, how you respond to that is through issuing a quotation. So a quotation shows the list of the items that you're selling out versus their prices or quantity. So that is like the quotation. So you'll be able like to attach quotations in the system. But once you issue a quotation in Zoho Books, it allows you like to automatically convert a quotation into an invoice, which is the one that you are seeing here. So an invoice is like a confirmed quotation. Let's say you have sent out a quotation to your customer. So when the customer has agreed on the price, you definitely convert the quotation into an invoice. So we shall be able like to see, like we shall be able like to have like an in-depth presentation as per all these modules in the next training. So this is like a brief overview of like what the system has for you. So let me go forth. We have the sales receipts. So the sales, let's say, let me give a scenario. You have these walk-in customers. So they have come, let's say, to your hardware, to your retail, to your business. They're like, can I have one nail? Can I have like a kilogram of nail? You don't have to come here to issue an invoice. No, you just have to click like you create a sales receipt. Like a sales receipt is like that once of like a customer has come in, they have paid you like there and then. That's when you issue a sales receipt. Yeah. So we have like recurring invoices. So recurring invoices means, let's say you have this particular client that gets this particular good from you or service or products, but let's say on a monthly basis, on a weekly basis, on a yearly basis. Let's say they receive consultation services from you on a monthly, something like that. So in the system, you trigger a recurring invoice. So it eliminates the whole process that you go through while creating an invoice like over and over again. So the system will auto generate based on the frequency. So you'll be able like to have that same invoice, let's say this month, and also the following month, and also the other month and the other month. Let's say you had triggered it, let's say on a monthly basis, on a weekly basis, on a yearly basis. So it eliminates like time wastage. So we have this other module, payments received. So payments received, once you attach like a receipt against the invoice, so we shall be able like to have like an in-depth like presentation as per all these modules. You'll be able like to see that. So on invoices in Zoho Books, you'll be able like to, once you issue an invoice in Zoho Books, you can actually go ahead and attach a payment against the invoices. So the system auto generates a sales receipt. So that means the sales receipt will reflect under the payment receipt. We have the sales returns. Let's say once you issue an invoice, so the system will be able like to, let's say you have issued an invoice. That means you have issued out like goods to that particular customer. This works like for those tangible goods, not for services. Let's say now you are hardware, you have issued out, let's say 1 kilogram of nails, but once, let's say the customer has received, excuse me, let's say the customer has received the kilogram, the nails, but on confirming the goods, that it's not like a kilogram, it's half. Let's say they have measured and then they have realized that it's half. So this is where this whole module comes in. You issue a sales return, and from issuing a sales return, you'll be able like to attach a credit note. So this module works hand in hand with a credit note. So these documents here reduce your invoice amount because they have returned your goods, because they have found, let's say, a fault or incorrect quantity, something like that. So from there, you'll be able like to adjust your invoice. And then let's say you had issued 1 kilogram, but then the customer has realized it's half. So on your end, you go ahead and go back and reduce your invoice to, let's say, half a kilogram, and so forth, so that you receive the correct amount of money, so that everything is treated fairly. So that is like the entire sales process captured in Zoho Books, from starting with customers to sales receipts, and then to sales returns and credit note, which is literally the entire sales process is captured. So we have this other module, the purchase sales process, just like the way we have seen, like with the sales process, it starts with customers. Still with the purchase process, it starts with the vendors. So the vendors, these are your suppliers in layman's language. So you'll be able like to attach those particular people that you purchase from, that give you your goods that you later sell. Let's say your hardware, you have this other hardware that you purchase from. So you'll be able like to attach those particular people that you buy from. So at the end of the day, you'll be able like to receive those corresponding reports, which are like the total payable. So we have another module, it's the expenses. We have these other operating expenses. So business expenses, operating expenses. Let's say you expense on finance costs like bank fees and charges, mobile money, staff welfare, staff salaries, consultation, and everything and so forth. So the system allows you like to attach those operation expenses. So at the end of the day, you'll be able like to know how you are doing in terms of those particular expenses that are taking money from your business. So we have this other module, which is the recurring expense. We saw in the sales process, we have this module, the recurring invoice. It applies with this. So with expense, we have like recurring expense. Let's say you have this particular expense. Let's say you incur on internet, let's say on a monthly basis. So instead of going back and instead of recording that expense as per the transaction date, the system allows you like to trigger a recurring expense movement whereby the system will auto deduct that expense amount from that particular account that is financing that particular expense. So at the end of the day, it eliminates like time wastage, like and everything concerning that particular expense. So we have like purchase orders. Let's say because we had like attached vendors, these are our suppliers, you can actually go ahead and issue a purchase order. A purchase order is like this particular document that you take, that you offer, that you issue out to your supplier that, hello, Mr. Hardware World, I need this particular items for my business. So that is like the formal document that you issue out to your supplier, just like the way we saw with the sales process. When a customer expresses interest in your services, you issue out a quotation. Same as with the purchase. When you have expressed interest in your supplier services or products, you issue a purchase order, something like that. So purchase receives, yes, it is the same as, it works hand in hand with the purchase order. So a confirmed purchase order brings about like a bill. Yes. So when your supplier has confirmed that, yes, I have these goods that you have requested in my store. So on your end, you'll be able like to answer back. So definitely that supplier will send you a document, like there are always those documents that move along. So the supplier will send you his own document. So how you respond to that document, you will issue a bill. So a bill will bring about this specific report that you see here, total unpaid bills, the one that we saw here. So a bill is like a confirmed purchase receipt or a purchase order. So these are like the same. Yeah. But what Zoho Books does, if you realize that all these documents that do not work for your business, you can actually go ahead and remove them from your visibility. It's not like it's mandatory for you to have, let's say, a purchase receipt or a purchase order. You can use any of these because they are the same. You get? So we have recurring bills. Recurring bill is like like the way we have seen, like with a recurring expense. Let's say you have this specific item that you get from your supplier. It's on a monthly basis, on a weekly, just like the way we have seen with an invoice. So instead of like going back to the system and manually recording like a bill, like as per the bill date, so the system automatically auto generates a recurring bill. So let's say you have attached a payment against a bill, because when the customers, when your supplier sends you a document, you respond with a bill. So there is a bill on a bill in the system. There is that whole movement of attaching a payment against a bill. So you'll be able like to see all that money that you had attached to those bills in the system. So we have this other movement, this other module, it's called vendor credits. So let's say now you have brought in your goods, but then you have realized that some of the goods that you have brought in, some of them are, let's say, less, some of them are faulty, some of them are damaged. So you issue a credit. So a credit note, a debit note or a vendor credit reduces your bill amount. So let's say you had bill, let's say you're supposed to pay 180, but then the goods that are spoiled are worth 10,000. That means you're going to pay 170,000. So when you issue a vendor credit against the bill, it reduces your billable amount. So do not to worry about these modules. You will be able like to see an in-depth presentation as per the trainings that we'll have in the future. So we have this other module, it's the time tracking. So the time tracking, Zoho Books allows you like to add projects. So the projects feature in Zoho Books allows you like to assess the profitability, to see like the budgeted amount, budgeted incomes, budgeted expenses, and everything. So it will help you like to keep track of all those modules. Of all those projects that you attached in the system. We have also, so all these features that you see, even the timesheet, works hand in hand with the projects. So we have the banking module. So the banking module in Zoho Books allows you like to attach all those accounts that you use for your daily running. Let's say you have equity, Stanbic, cash, petty cash, and everything. So you'll be able like to attach all those accounts that you use for your daily running of your business. So we have the accountant module. So the accountant module is like the backbone of this system. So let me skip this and I explain this. So this is one of like the biggest, the major backbone, the chart of accounts. The chart of account is like a list of accounts that most businesses use. We have the asset accounts, the liability accounts, the equity, income, and expense. So it's always good to first understand all those accounts that you use. Let's say under expense, you incur on administration, on sanitation, on bank fees. Yes, the system comes along with its own default accounts, but it's best to first see. Let's say on expenses, you have mobile money charges. So you have to add mobile money charges in the system as well. Let's say assets, you have laptops, you have tables, you have, because asset accounts are also divided. We have fixed and we have current. So under current assets, we have the ones that are not, these are the accounts that you can't touch, you can't see them. So current assets, we have cash, we have debtors, we have bank, something like that. And we have fixed assets. These are the ones that you can see. The one, let's say you have laptops, you have tables, you have chairs. So we have also another module in Zoho Books. It's fixed asset management. So you'll be able like to track the depreciation for those particular fixed assets. Yeah. So you'll be able like to have like a more understanding as we go forth with our training concerning all these modules. So that's it for the chart of accounts. So it's always good like to first configure like your chart of accounts even before attaching all these, before attaching transaction. Again, it's purchases, again, it's sales, again, it's banking and every other module. So that's for the chart of accounts, which is like the backbone. We have manual journals. Manual journals, let's say you have, let me give a scenario. Let's say you're the director, but then let's say now the business, sometimes the business can run short of money, but then you loan your own business some money. So the system allows you like to manually record those journals. So it allows you like to credit some account and debit an account. Let's say now you, the director, you have loaned. Let's say you have loaned your business. That means you're going to credit your own account. That means you have to create a director loans account in the system. That means you're going to credit it and then debit the account that is receiving that money. Let's say if it's done big, if it's the cash account, something like that, you get. So that means you're going to credit the director loans and then debit that specific account. So at the end of the day, it will keep like, you'll be able like, you know that entire movement. So that's for the manual journals. We have bulk update. So bulk update, it means, let's say now you want to change going back like to the chart of accounts. Let's say now, because business evolve over time, let's say now in the process of like configuring your chart of accounts, now you want to change some accounts, you want to update some accounts. So the system allows you like to bulk update and everything at a go. So you'll be able like to smoothly transition to your preferred accounts, to your newly adjusted accounts, something like that. So we have currency adjustments. So Zoho Books comes along like with automatic exchange rate feeds. But then let's say you have like your own exchange feed. You can actually go ahead and adjust basing on your policy and everything. Yeah. So I had talked about the chart of accounts. We have this other module. It's called the budgets. So the system allows you like to attach budgets in the system. So at the end of the day, you'll be able like to understand whether you have budgeted, whether you have under budgeted versus actual. The system allows you like to attach monthly budgets, quarterly budgets, yearly budgets, and so forth. Yeah. We have transaction logging. So let's say you are in the audit period, but then remember I had talked about like the system allows you like to invite users in the system. But then when you invite these users, that means you can actually go ahead and limit and grant. So let's say you had granted access to sales, like you have granted access. Let's say now that particular person has visibility on customers, quotation and everything. That means they have full rights to to change any information concerning the sales process. So what transaction locking does, let's say you're in a very crucial period, let's say for auditing, you can actually go ahead, you as an admin for this specific account, you can actually go ahead and log your sales, your purchases, and your banking. And then it has this other, you can actually go ahead and lock your accountant module, which we have seen here, the backbone. And then you have this other one, lock all your transactions at once. So let's say you're in your auditing period, you can actually go ahead and invite your auditor. So you don't want even the auditor to distort or to edit your information. So you can actually go ahead and lock this you can actually go ahead and lock these modules so that let's say in the auditing period, so that the auditing process goes on smoothly. You get? So that is like the whole essence of this module, which is called transaction logging. So that those people that you had invited in the system do not distort, edit, or delete the most crucial, the most important information in your software. So we have this other module, the reports module. So the system comes along with different reports. So I've clicked the reports. So here you see even it comes along with a count. Here you see it shows 91. That means I have 91 different reports. So basing on your preference, let's say you want to see how you're doing expense, so you're going to click expense, you get? So you can actually search. So it brings along expense details, expense by category, expense by customer, expenses by project, expenses by employee. So we have so many reports. Let's say you want to see how your stock is doing. So you're going to type stock summary. So the system will come along with a stock summary report, stock movement, committed stock details. We have a profit and loss, cash flow statement, balance sheet, yeah, and so forth. So on my left, we even have different report categories. So we have the business overview reports. Under business overview reports, you'll be able like to click. So under business overview report, it means that it will come along that with those with the common reports. Obviously, most businesses run on a profit and loss, the balance sheet, and then we have the business performance ratios. So it even gives you the count. So under business overview reports, we have 6 different reports that you can use. We have sales reports. So under sales reports, we have a count of 7. So for your entire sales process, you'll be able like to see a sales by, you will be able like to get a sales by customer report. And even we have this module, this extension here, it shows you it is a system generated. That means it's not manually generated. You can heavily rely on this. But there is a but. Giggle, garbage in, garbage out. Yes, the system will give you like all these reports, but it will rely on your accuracy. You get. So we have sales by item, we have order fulfillment, all those other reports that are attached to this category. We have inventory valuation, we have location. So also we have Zoho Books. We have this other feature, the location. Let's say you are this business, but then you have other locations. So the system, what Zoho Books does, it allows you like to configure those other locations in the system. What do I mean? So since you have those locations, definitely you would want to keep track of how those other locations are doing, but under one umbrella. You yourself, you would want to have, let's say, a consolidated financial report for all your location. You would want to have like a separate reports for all those locations. So the system will give you like all those reports that are attached to the particular, for all your locations. We have the receivables, payments received, and everything. So on my left here, we have different report categories. So basing on your need and your preferences, you just go to the report categories and then you look out for what will work for you or basing on your need. So that's it like for the reports. So let me go back to our modules. So we have this other last module, which is going to bring us to the end of this presentation, the documents module. So the documents module in Zoho Books allows you like to keep all those documents. Let's say there is a receipt, your supplier has given you a receipt. Let's say you want to upload, you have bank statements. So at the end of the day, you have like the system allows you like to have a storage of all those documents there. Now let's say you're in auditing period, and then the auditor would want like to have like um, a proof of all those transactions that are recorded in the system. Yeah, you tell him kindly revisit my documents module. So he will have a list of, if you had like constantly, because it's consistency. So let's say your supplier has given you a receipt, you have ordered goods, they have given you a receipt, you have like bank statements. It's always good like to keep all this information here. So the auditor will have like proof, and then the whole auditing period will be a success. So that has brought us to the end of this session. For because we are going to have like a series of training, so we are going like to tackle an in-depth like presentation of all these modules, the sales, the purchases, the projects, the banking, and then the accountant, and all these other features. So at the end of it all, you'll be confident. You'll be confident, and then you have like a seamless, you'll be able like to transact seamlessly, and then you enjoy the system. So allow me to open the chat and then answer this question. Yes, Joe Gwal has asked, when you are done, I would like to know if I can send bulk invoices to clients from an Excel document with names and emails and WhatsApp numbers and amount to pay. Yes, you can actually go ahead and send bulk invoices to clients. So yes, you can go ahead and do that, but we shall be able like to show you vividly in our next training concerning like invoices and everything. But definitely you can go ahead and do that in the system. Yeah, so I am now opening the floor. If you have like any question, please go ahead and ask.
Can you hear me?
Yes, please, I can.
So on the banking aspect, I guess you'll tell us a bit more when we get to that portion, but
Yes.
say I have an account in DFC
Mm.
where we transfer income or withdraw for payments and whatnot. Are we actually linking it real time so that as the things happen, the balance is reflected in Zoho Books? So we have to then come in and adjust for whatever has caused that movement? Or what does that linkage look like?
Can you kindly repeat? I didn't capture that well, so sorry about that.
When you say we can link our banking details,
Yes, you can
so
attach a bank.
beside just the company bank account number and then link it to the bank system?
Yes, but we shall see it when we go there. Let me just share like a snippet so that you understand. Now when I come here, add bank and credit card. So you see here we have a list of banks that are supported by Zoho Books. We have PayPal, we have Bank of America. But then on our end, we have like a geographic limitation. It's because here in Uganda, we don't have these accounts like yet configured, like in our region. You get? But then we are not left out in Zoho Books. You can actually go ahead and add bank or credit card manually. But you'll be able like to see this whole movement like in the next training so that you get to understand like the whole movement. Like going back to your question, like let's say now you have done like a withdrawal, you have done like a cross transfer, something like that. You have done, let's say, you have removed money from your bank. Let's say 1 million to get let's say you have removed it from your bank to your cash account. Yes, you can actually, that whole movement is possible. It's called cross transfer. You can actually do transfers in that account. So you'll be able like to have like an in-depth visibility and presentation concerning this whole banking module in our future trainings. Yes.
Okay, thank you very much.
Is there any other question? Yes, now, Sadru Wemba has asked, you have talked about location. Is it possible to have different branches operating separately but under one admin? Yes, I talked about location. That whole feature, it is possible to have different branches operating separately but under one administration. Yeah, that is very possible in Zoho Books. It is possible. And you will also have like a clear representation and visibility on how to go about the whole location feature and movement in Zoho Books. But it is possible. You can actually have different reports for those different reports for all those locations in Zoho Books. And you can actually go ahead and all those branches can transact separately, but under the same umbrella, under the same account. Yes, that is possible, Sad. I hope I've answered your question. Finally, when do we have the classes for Zoho marketing? Yes, let me leave this to Daniel to answer that. He will answer that specific question concerning Zoho marketing. Yes. Is there any other question concerning Zoho Books specifically? Kindly, Daniel will answer that question shortly. Yes, there is one more question. Is it possible to define limit what features are accessible by different people in the company? Yes, Nicholas. Yes, it is possible. It is possible. You can actually go ahead and limit the visibility. You can actually go ahead and grant access and limit access. Yes, it is possible. Let me just show you like a sample. You see this module, users and roles in Zoho Books. Yes, this module allows you like to actually configure a role. Through configuring a role, that's when you will go ahead and limit or grant access to the user that you're inviting to the system. Yes, that too is very possible. Yeah. Is there any other question? All right. This has brought us to the end of the session. Thank you all for joining. I appreciate. Thank you all.